One. All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Back Office Show. Actually, not even welcome back. This is the first show that we are doing and recording live. Um, my name is Cameron, and we also have Ryan. Ryan, would you like to say hi?
What's going on, everybody? Ryan from Colorado here.
What's going on, everybody? My name's Cameron. We are the Back Office Show, and we'll give you a little bit of a background and who we are, why we decided to go with the title. Apologize for the barking. I've got two crazy fucking dogs at the house. And then from there, we'll move along and we'll see how this goes. Um, yeah, Ryan, do you want to give a little bit of info and how we met? I could give you afterwards just a little bit of info on my side of how everything went. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure thing. Back about, gosh, what was this? Probably 20, yeah, it was right before COVID, so like 2018, I think. Cameron moved out to Colorado. At the time, I was the manager and I was running a smoothie shop into the ground. Almost ended up doing that thing into my early 30s.
And everybody, just so we know, we're not gonna say the name of the smoothie shop because we don't want to get any legalities at this point. But we'll just say smoothie shop. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So was running a smoothie shop and yeah, Cameron came in with a job application and uh I mean, I'm not the best. I'll be honest. I mean, I was not the best manager. I pretty much sat him down for a quote unquote interview and right away I just saw like, oh, this guy's my age and I think about 2 minutes into the interview, Cam, I just started asking you about like sport questions.
Literally, that's how it went. I don't know why I was nervous. I was literally going into a job to make smoothies every day. So, right away, like I was thinking, okay, he's gonna ask me like who I am, my background at this type of work. I'm like sweating for some reason, and it's like February in Colorado, mind you, so it's cold as fuck. So for me to be sweating, it's weird. But anyways, yeah, I think 2 minutes into the conversation, he
Yeah.
literally at some point was like, "Who's your favorite team?" And I was like, "What?" Like, because he had a Laker. I remember Ryan had a Lakers hat on, so that's why. Ultimately, I think I asked you right before. I was like, "Oh, you're a Lakers fan," and then that just kind of got the conversation going. Sparks were flying, and yeah, I kind of had an idea that I was gonna get the job, but I didn't think I was gonna get it like right away. Because from my end, and I'll let you speak too, but
hmm
I remember we talked about the Lakers. Ryan, so a little bit of background as well. Ryan's dad grew up in LA. So he had a Lakers hat. I'm thinking, okay, this kid's just a Lakers fan. He's from Colorado, but he ended up I found out that his dad's from LA. That's why he um, has a passion, towards LA sports. But anyways, we kind of just were talking back and forth, and I think a couple minutes in afterwards, he's like, "All right, you want the job?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude! I need a job. I literally just moved from Colorado, from California. So, sound about right to you?"
Yeah, yeah. And then yeah, I just like offered you the job. I mean, you were like, "Yeah, cool." And then I think it was like I'm kind of messing up on the timeline, but I think it was maybe a week or two later. I don't really know what the circumstance was, but you needed like a ride home. Okay, I remember what the circumstance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I
We
totally forgot about this.
we don't have to go into the circumstance.
Yeah,
But
no circumstances. Maybe in a later date on that one.
yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was like after work or something and you were like, "Yeah, can you like give me a ride home?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." And then I'm giving you a ride home and you're like, "Yeah, okay, turn left here, turn right here." And at the time I was living with a few buddies and I'm like, "Are we like fucking going to my house?" Yeah. I literally like drove past my house. I'm like, "That's where I live, like right there with a few friends." And then I dropped you off and it was, I mean, not even 30 seconds away, 30, 45 seconds away. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, this is gonna be like a friendship,
Yeah,
like
no,
100%.
literally. So I think I see it from a little differently, but I mean that's just normal because I think both of us,
Hmm.
we have different stories. But so what I remember from it was you had said, okay, you got the job, and you guys, we promise we'll move on from this story because I know it's dragging along, but it's just important for like our title of the show. But anyways, so he had offered me the job. And right afterwards, he was asking me once we were done with the interview, he's like, "Hey man, so you just moved here? Like, do you have any buddies?" And I was like, I literally just moved here. I started working for this other job before, but I fucking hated it. I was a dishwasher. My uncle he lived in Fort Collins. That's where me and Ryan ended up meeting. And I was a dishwasher, and then I was like, nah, fuck this. And I got a text from Ryan. And the funny thing is I didn't even apply to his store. I applied to a store that was closer to where I lived, and somehow he got the application, which was like a 7.5 miles away from my house. So it was way farther than like the original one. So I don't even know how he got the application. But anyways, after we had talked, he said, oh yeah, you don't have any like friends here yet, and he's like, you should just meet my friends. And I'm like, man, this guy's pretty cool. Like right away, he just offered me to like go hang out with his buddies. I was like, I'm gonna take him up on that. And but yeah, so anyways, ended up working at this smoothie spot for 2 years. I ended up becoming a co-manager within 6 months or so. And so the reason we ended up going with the title of our show being the back office show was because um, we would go into our manager's office in the back and we would always be placing bets, sports bets. We just love talking about sports, especially LA. And Ryan, I knew was a big sports fan, but I didn't know that like he was a big sports better. And so we kind of just had back and forth about that. We would kind of give each other like picks every day, and then the science behind it and everything, and started winning some money. And then yeah, so that's our title, the back office show, just because we were always cooking up parlays or bets in the back of the smoothie shop, and that's our story. But yeah, Rye. So uh, let's move it along. I think just for the audience to hear a little bit more about like who your favorite teams are. Obviously, we talked about us both connecting because we were LA fans. But yeah, I would love to hear kind of like what's your favorite sport, and then yeah, and then sports teams as well.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so family, dad's side at least, that's the part of my family that actually enjoys sports. My mom's side does not. I mean, I don't even think my mom's side watches the Super Bowl unless the Packers are playing in it. They're all from Wisconsin. Um, but yeah, dad's side is all from LA, and that was just my dad's side of the family, all the males, like it's just a passion to just follow your sports teams. And they all grew up in LA about they grew up like 15, 20 minutes away from like Dodger Stadium and Staples or the Forum at the time back in the 70s. So for it's where the Lakers played. So I'm a fan of the Lakers, the Dodgers, the LA Kings for hockey, and then I kind of grabbed on to the Chargers at like 10 years old because
See
my
that that's
dad,
where that's where we kind of go off because I'm a big Dodger fan as well. But then when he said the Chargers, then I was like, oh, okay, all right.
yeah, it was just it was tough though because like I mean I don't know you like my dad grew up like rooting he was rooting for the St. Louis Rams. Like
Hmm.
we would watch the
Yep.
Dodgers, we'd watch the Lakers, we'd watch the Kings, and then all of a sudden like the St. Louis Rams are on, and I'm like, why the fuck are we rooting for these guys?
It's not even in the
And
same state.
yeah, and he was like, oh, they used to be in LA, but I never felt that pull. I
Right.
was like St. Louis Rams. I never felt that because they just weren't there. So it was the game that I think it was in 2007 that Peyton Manning on Sunday Night Football. He threw 5 interceptions against the Chargers, and I was
Yes.
I was watching, and they were wearing the powder blues. Antonio
Oh,
Cromartie had like two
classic.
of those picks.
Hmm.
Danian Tomlinson he had a touchdown. He did his little ball flip celebration, and they were in San Diego's. And I have family that lives in San Diego too. It's not that far from LA, still like California area. So they had that like epic game in the powder blues, and I was like, I'm gonna be a Charger fan. So I just
Yeah.
kind of grabbed onto them. Out of all the sports, like I'm definitely like a basketball guy. Like I love like March Madness is like I just hit recently the 1 year point in my new job, and I got I finally got granted like a certain amount of time of PTO, and I like used my PTO like for March Madness. Like I'm a huge basketball guy like that. I love like the Lakers are my favorite team out of the four major sports, and like basketball is that's just like my thing.
Yeah, I
What
get
what
that.
about
Yeah.
you?
Um, yeah, so similar story. So I gravitated towards football. So my dad actually ended up playing collegiate football, not Division 1, but he played Division 2 out in Tennessee, and then my whole life was surrounded in when I was younger going to games for him. Um my parents are very young, so they had me at a young age, and so my first memories are him either playing or coaching. But he ended up after college when he was like 25, 26, he ended up actually playing in San Diego and at this time, this was, and I'm kind of backtracking, apologize everyone, but around 2002, 2003 is when arena football was getting really big. Kurt Warner obviously just came out, and speaking of the St. Louis Rams, he had gotten his start after being on the LA Avengers. So
Legendary.
that was legendary. So like my dad followed suit and knew he wanted to be that was going to be a shot if he was going to get into the NFL was arena football. Just didn't have the grades. I obviously got that side, so thanks, Dad. I appreciate that. But he ended up going to San Diego, and at the time, San Diego had a arena football team called the San Diego Riptide, and so growing up, I was always around football. But like you, trying to root for a team, we didn't have a team in LA when I was growing up, so I didn't
And you're
gravitate.
talking about like NFL.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm kind of jumping back and forth, but I know I was talking about arena now NFL. But yeah, so for NFL, I didn't really have a team, and I just didn't gravitate towards the NFL at that time when I was younger. So I ended up my stepdad is alma mater. Excuse me, Jesus, alma mater is USC. And so some of my fondest memories was going to games with him, especially USC UCLA at the Rose Bowl. I was very fortunate to be able to go to some of those games where I got to see Reggie Bush, Matt
That's a
Leinart,
bucket list for me, man, going
freaking
to the Rose Bowl.
oh, it's unreal. And so those are some of my fondest memories. So I gravitated towards college football. So that I would say is my number one sport. I'm a whiz when it comes to college football. I can tell you names from the 2000s like it's nothing. Um, and then I would say after that it's probably I would say baseball and then basketball, like MLB and then NBA. And then
Mhm.
after that, like I know other sports we do, like we both do, but I would say those are the top three. And then I just started getting into hockey. Um, Not a Kings fan. I'm actually an Avs fan. I had to follow suit when I moved to Colorado since I was there when it was kind of going down. But yeah. So we'll move on, and I think, Rye, do you want to kind of give an idea of like what this show's all about, like what we'll be doing, moving forward, and go from there?
Yeah, I mean this just kind of rambling right now, but just kind of want to give you guys like an idea of just like who we are and uh like what sports we like, what teams we root for. The one thing we don't have to get too into it, but that we like immediately kind of connected on Cameron and I was he brought up his stepdad with USC. Like my family out in LA, like they're the type of people who say like, oh, we bleed like blue and gold. Like I fucking hate the Trojans. I cannot stand the Trojans, and I mean, same way, vice versa. He can't stand the Bruins. So that was kind of a fun little connection when we were first meeting each other talking about sports, is he loves the Trojans and
Well, it was almost too good to be true because when we first met, obviously we had our the Lakers that we love and the Dodgers, and I was like, man, this is perfect. Like I've got another my boy, that's in Colorado that likes LA. I thought that was going to be a big thing for me. Like everybody's going to be shitting on me because they're all Nuggets fans, and then yeah, he told me he was a UCLA fan, and I was like, let's pump the brakes a little bit. But no,
so
I think it was yeah. But go ahead.
yeah, I just wanted to throw that in. But yeah, so I mean, we're pretty much just gonna be like just kind of going over like sports of like big things that like happen, during the week. I think we're mainly going to be recording on like Sundays. So it'll be just kind of like a recap of what happened like the Monday through Saturday, just in the world of sports. Probably gravitating a little bit more towards just basketball and football. I feel like as most people do. I mean, a lot of people don't talk about hockey and baseball and a lot. Like the general
Yeah,
public
right.
is more, football, basketball. So we'll be kind of focusing on that, just giving our, insight and predictions and whatnot on things going on. And then I think towards like the end of the show, we're going to be doing a little like fun trivia to, get you guys involved too. Like ask a question, and even if we know the answer, like maybe not answer it right away to let viewers kind of think about it and answer on their own too, and just kind of a fun little thing to quiz ourselves on sports knowledge and then get, the audience involved as well. And then at the end of the show, kind of go over like a best bet, like sports betting thing of like best bet of the week, something that
Yeah,
we can keep track of like a record and for you guys to, I
to
don't know
shit on
if
us.
yeah, if Cameron is if Cameron at one point is like 0-5, and he says USC money line or something, like
Fade the shit out of that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. I think,
but if someone's like 5-0, like, maybe ride one of our, best picks.
hey, look, and with sports betting, what do they say? If you're 60% in sports betting, you're doing a good job. So, I mean, like,
Oh yeah.
at the end of the day, it'll be fun to accumulate after. Hopefully, we do this for years to come, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, for everyone listening, me and Ryan really wanted to be able to do this just because we live in different states now. I mean, when I was living in Colorado from 2019 to 2022, I was over at Ryan's house pretty much every day.
Yeah.
We worked together, and then we also were spending almost every other day like hanging out, playing golf, shooting the shit, talking about sports, and then I got to meet his friends, and I am forever grateful for him to be able to introduce me to his friends and his friendship. It was totally an amazing time in my life, and I think that we're just
Hey,
trying to.
thanks, man.
Well, yeah, I'm not trying to get too sappy or anything, but look, I think we'll talk about it in later episodes, but. I ended up moving back to California. I live currently in San Diego, and Ryan is still living in the Fort Collins region in Colorado. So it's a good way for us to be able to catch up every week. We've been meaning to do that, and as well as just just shoot the shit, have fun. And look, you guys, we're not Barstool Sports. We know this. This is just fun. This is literally just something fun for us to do. So we appreciate anybody that subscribes and likes any of our content. And yeah, we're a work in progress, right? We're not going to have this shit
Oh
figured
yeah.
out right away.
Amen.
So it might take us 3 weeks to get this thing uploaded, and let's just give it to our viewers, right? Like our date, it's June 8th. So if you guys see this in July, apologies, but we're like we
It
said, we're trying
probably
to
will
figure it
be
out.
July.
Most likely. Um, but yeah, so thank you guys. Rye, I'm super excited to do this, man, and yeah, we'll have more to come, you guys, and appreciate the follow, the like, and hopefully you guys like it.
Yeah, appreciate everybody. Do you want to, I mean, we can kind of just pass a little bit of time. I mean, do you want to look up like like a trivia thing, or I mean, we got game 2 of the NBA Finals starting in about an hour. I mean, I don't know if you have
This guy
any
doesn't
thoughts
want to
on
end
that.
the podcast. He wants to have a
What'd you
3 hour.
say?
He wants to be the Joe Rogan show. I think we're gonna go for 3